Hey, what's up? This is Mark at Alchemist.camp, where we learn Elixir and Phoenix by building things. And today I'm going to show you something that I've built. I'm logged in as a non-admin user, and you can see in the profile page there is some new stuff. So green Elixir gets added every week for free users. You can spend it to request new content and features. This request link takes you to a new page that does exactly what it says. It gives you a way to request new features and new content. I've got a couple of requests already in that I put in myself, and I'll give you an example of making a new one. So, new request, we'll give it a title, say, do a series on Absinthe and GraphQL. And I'm not going to put in much of a description here because I'm recording. So we'll just say, please do a series on Absinthe. I want to learn it. And the type is content. The other possibility would be a feature. And difficulty, you can't change. That's something that only I change. That's basically how much work I expect it to be. So we can see now there's a new request. And if I go back to the requests index, it'll show up with the others. So it says 0 votes, content is the type, and difficulty is to be determined. And priority is kind of a combination of the number of votes, the type, and the difficulty. I've got another browser open with me logged in as the administrator, and I'll show you how that works. So I see GraphQL, it's got no votes, content, there's some other information that I don't show to everybody. I'm going to edit this, and I think the difficulty of a GraphQL project is medium. It's actually a bit more work to do than a JSON API, so I'm going to say medium, and it's still content. And I'm going to say the cost. This is basically how much of my time I expect this will take. I'm going to say the cost is about 15, and then I submit, and you can see I now see the same thing everyone else does. I can vote on this project or not. Going back to the user that is not an admin, that just created it, I can actually update or delete my own submission. You can't with anybody else's, of course. And you can also vote on anybody's submissions. So I can vote on mine, I can vote on other people's submissions. I'm going to vote with 4 points of Elixir. That's out of my 37 that I have. So I vote, and then let's check out the requests and see how it's doing. So it's got 4 votes, and since it's more difficult than the others, it's actually still at a lower priority setting. And this priority is basically how I'm going to decide what content to make, and to a large degree what features I'm going to make also. So if this were the final voting of everything on the board when I was ready to do my next piece of work on the site, then I would automate password resets, because based on the difficulty and the kind of thing it is and how many votes it's got, that's the current winner. I've set up this section of the site for a couple of reasons. First is I want to have the feedback and requests I'm getting for the site organized a bit better. Right now, people are sending me messages on Twitter, and they're emailing me, and they're commenting under YouTube videos. And in the future, I'm going to mostly just go by whatever's on this page. The second goal that I have with this is to just not have to spend as much time deciding what to work on, because I don't have that much time to spend on Alchemist Camp, and the more efficiently I can use that, the better for everybody. And finally, I want an efficient way to balance the desires of 3 different groups. Those 3 groups are me, because it's my site and I'm the one doing the work on it. The premium subscribers, because they're the ones financially supporting it and making it something I can reasonably work on. And the free members, because they make up the majority of the people who watch my videos, and they also make up the majority of the people who like them on YouTube and share them. So I really think that all 3 contingencies matter. What do I want to work on? What do the people who are financially supporting the project want? And what does the wider base of free subscribers want? And obviously there's some requests that I will just close and reject. I'm not quite sure now if I'm going to refund the votes for those. One example of a request I would automatically reject would be if someone said to make everything free for everybody, because the project just doesn't work that way. Another thing that I would reject would be a request to just give up and shut the site down, or a request to do anything that I think would be really damaging or just contrary to my general plans. Like I'm not going to make a project to teach you how to make a spam bot or an automated insulter that goes through GitHub threads and just insults random people. So it's got to be something that I think makes sense. And it's also possible that what you're asking is just way, way more work or time than I think is reasonable. And I might just close those as well. Although I might also just set the difficulty to very high, set the cost to 100 times more than a normal feature. And then, if it gets 100 times more upvotes than those other things, maybe I would work on it. So that's the plan. And if you've been wondering what that green elixir in your profile does, now you know. If you've been wondering why you should ever sign up for an account, if you have no intention of getting a premium membership, this is one more reason. And I would be very interested in hearing your feedback, both in terms of requests themselves and what you think of this new feature. That's it for today. See you next time.